y'all, Noni here. Welcome back to my channel. You can call me Noni. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Yeah. This video. Okay. Okay, so this video is about small fiber neuropathy and just some mental health and physical health issues that I've been going through lately. And I'm dealing with brain fog a lot right now, and word recall and stuff. And those of you that experience that know exactly what I'm talking about. I do want to say we have 46 subscribers now. We had 47, but we lost one. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was my scary Halloween. There's a gnat thing in here. So anyway, maybe it was my scary Halloween videos that scared them away. I don't know. I'm gonna kill this fucker. Ugh. Nope, he's still here. Anyway, I have tried to clear as much space on my phone as I can. I'm still not using my vlogging camera because anxiety. Which I know sounds ridiculous. But again, those of you that suffer with anxiety understand. And some, there's a spectrum, you know what I mean? I think there's a spectrum with everything in life. I just think the autism community really brought that to light in terms of it differs in severity, right? And I think everything does, but I appreciate the autism community bringing that word, that language to the forefront, because shit, sorry, anyway, okay, so I originally, first let me say this. I don't know how much time or how much space I have on my phone. I've tried to get rid of as many pictures and clear up as much space as I can on my phone. But it is what it is. So I may not be able to do a proper outro, which I do. I kind of have an outro. So yeah, so if I don't, have a beautiful day in advance. But I'll get you another one if my phone doesn't die. This fucker, I swear to God. See, this is part of having ADD. I have that as well. So yay me, loving life. I'm trying to, okay. So when I was planning on making this video, I was like, oh no, I'm gonna need Kleenex. And I brought notes, I brought my iPad, I brought all the things, water, all the things I knew I would need. And then the one thing I probably would need the most, Kleenex, I didn't get. And I just, energy wise, I'm just spent. And so there will be no going in to get toilet paper. So this is it. Hopefully I don't cry. I cried a lot this morning. I cried a lot yesterday. I think there's a few reasons for that. And it's very cold. So I'm sorry I'm looking away. I'm just trying to figure out the cold situation. It's part of, unfortunately, and just real quick, trigger warning. So if hearing about mental illness, and some of them are more on the, if we're talking on the spectrum, and this is really, really, really extreme, and this is some light anxiety, I'm maybe over here. So if that triggers you, please don't watch. I might also talk about topics like abuse or whatnot. I don't think I will, because, I mean, we all know my childhood trauma. We don't need to keep rehashing it. And if you don't know it, I think I have a video called childhood trauma. So please go back and watch that if you want to know and I don't provide a lot of details, specific details about what happened to me, but you get the gist of it. So anyway, but what has been causing my issue for the past few days, I have learned this morning, and I think I already talked about this in another video, but once again, okay, so I have hypothyroidism, which I know I've talked to you guys about. And I'm sorry. Also, part of ADD for me, my ADD, the way it presents is I have a hard time making eye contact. And at the moment, I'm making eye contact with myself. So that's why you may see me looking away. Or, does this block any of the... Not really. Okay. But when I look away or whatever, that's just part of my ADD. So back to the hypothyroidism. So when you have hypothyroidism, there's something wrong with your thyroid. It doesn't behave appropriately. Some people have hyperthyroidism, which comes with its different kind of symptoms, but it generally causes weight loss, and I think like rapid heart rate or palpitations or something. And then there's other symptoms that I'm just not sure of, so I'm probably not the one to educate you on hyperthyroidism. I have the one that makes you fat, so yay. Now, that's not the only reason that I am a fluffy girl. I mean, Mama likes sweets, and I could, like, bottom line, I like sweets. I don't eat a lot, which is kind of funny, because there's a lot of things I can't eat anymore. So I find myself eating things that are not going to give me heartburn. Like, that's the biggest thing. And so I've been like skipping a lot of meals, which we could call intermittent fasting, right? And like trying, like, basically I'm down to eating cereal, with oat milk, which the brand I found is gluten-free somehow. I don't know if that's true, but when I have to, like, anytime I'm going to take my meds, I have to put something on my tummy, which means I eat cereal at night, like before I go to bed. And I know it's not, again, ideal to eat before you go to bed, but these are pills I have to take before I go to bed, and not hours before I go to bed, like right before I go to bed. And so if I don't eat something, it will rip my stomach apart. Like, it's so excruciatingly painful, and I deal with enough pain in my life, so I'm like, I'm having the cereal, everyone can just fuck off about it, okay? Like, I don't care. I used oat milk because I found that when I was using dairy at night, I was waking up with this like acid like pouring up out of my throat like fucking lava, like hot lava, and it was like burning my, whatever this is, like my voice box, and like just burning my mouth. Like it's awful. But again, that's not what I was wanting to make this video about. I get very sidetracked. So somehow this morning I discovered that once again I am not taking my thyroid pills regularly. Now, the thyroid pills I have to take in the morning because I thought I killed you. Dude, just die already. It's like it's like a gnat that is maybe possibly, I got him. Fucker, he's still not dead. Okay, it's like a gnat. And I just don't have time for that. So anyway, he's dead now. So it was about a month ago, I think, where I discovered, like, I looked at the date, because I'm always like, when you have a lot of prescriptions, you're always checking the dates, because unfortunately, none of your prescriptions are due on the same day. So you're always looking, like, every day you're checking your bottles, like, so I don't know. I just felt like, I feel like I have a lot of pills in here, and I feel like I should be out. And I looked at the date, and it turns out that I have, like, it was October, I filled it on October 5th. So I should have gotten my new bottle on November 5th. And it's now November, I don't know, 9th or 10th. And I still have 2 weeks worth of pills left. So that means basically in a month's time, in a 4-week period, I have not taken my thyroid pills for 3 weeks out of those 4 weeks. Now, what's really frustrating is that because of small fiber neuropathy, your body gets really stiff and painful when you lay still. And so I usually wake up at about 2 or 3 in the morning, sometimes 5. If I wake up at 5, that's primo day. That's a day where I got 5 solid hours of sleep. But I made it a habit, I thought, to wake up. Like, when I wake up, before you get out of bed, take your thyroid pills. They're right there in my little, like, I think everyone has, like, this little nighttime box where they have all their stuff. And it's the only prescription bottle I have in that specific box. And the box is open, so I can see everything that's in there. And so I take the thyroid pill. And I remember, like, because there's a lot of pills that I take that are bitter. And they start disintegrating in my mouth very quickly because I'm not one that can just swallow like that. Because of my constant dry mouth, doesn't matter how much water I have in my mouth, it still takes me a long time to swallow pills. So even with it's so tiny, it's like the tiniest little pill, and it always starts disintegrating, and I always am like, oh no, it's gonna be bitter, and then it's not, and then I'm like, oh, thank God it's not bitter. So I have these memories, and so I thought I was taking my thyroid pills every single morning. And then to find out that I wasn't, like, and here's the deal. Okay, so I don't even know. Okay, so today's Wednesday. So basically, all last week into this week, I have had the worst fatigue of my life. Now, I do have anemia pretty badly. And about a year ago, I had to have iron infusions because it got really low. But then I had it checked, and since then it was like way above. Like, even a year later, like, you're good on your iron. So then I thought, I am so fatigued. Like, I was just dragging ass, like, literally just staying in bed all day, every single day. Getting up to do anything would cause me to be breathless and like just going to the bathroom or whatever, you know what I mean? So and then, like, I mean, I'm always, like, I always have pain, so, but, like, I would have more, for me, my small fiber neuropathy, because I also have fibro, has always presented with muscle pain, like just widespread muscle pain. Every muscle hurts. My hands hurt a lot. Just a lot of things hurt, right? So, God, I forgot. Just bear with me a minute, guys. This is part of it. Is losing track of everything, right? But I'm just, as boring as this is for you to watch, I want to document it because this is part of it. You know what I mean? So, like, when you're at work or when you're on a job and you're having these kind of symptoms, which I've gone through that, it's difficult. Like the other day, I wanted to watch TV and I grabbed the remote, but I looked at it and I was like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, this is my remote that I use all the time. And like, if I'm laying in bed all day, well, then I'm watching TV. Like, I'm binging Netflix, or I'm watching like a lot of good shows that I want to talk about, but that's not today's video. So I know how the friggin' remote works, right? And I looked at it and I was like, I don't know what to do with this. And that, you know, that gets really scary, because you're like, am I just going to get to a point someday where I just have dementia and I don't even remember to go to the bathroom? You know what I mean? Like, that thought just absolutely, you know how I am about people. That thought absolutely terrifies me. And when I forget to use my remote, it kind of brings it home, right? Like, oh shit. So there's been that, like, a lot of brain fog, tons of fatigue, like the worst fatigue ever. And then like I said, most of my small fiber neuropathy pain is, it feels muscular, okay? Like, for instance, right now, you are currently sitting on top of a box of cookies that I got at a specialty bakery, and you're leaned against the windshield because the apparatus I normally use, which is right there, I couldn't figure out how to make it open wide enough for my big fat phone case to fit in there, which it has a million times, but I could not figure out how to get it to do it. And because it was already like on the windshield, I was trying to do it that way, and I don't have the strength in my arms. Like, it was just doing this action and trying to fix it was so excruciating to my shoulders that I had to stop. So, that's another frustrating thing about I'm just going to call it SFN, because calling it small fiber neuropathy is a pain in the ass, like, to keep saying it. And I don't like calling it neuropathy because it's not regular neuropathy. Regular neuropathy typically affects your I know there's a better word for it. I know there is, because I said it before. Your arms, your extremities. Okay, so your hands and your feet. But this particular brand is inside and out, and it's your entire body. It's brain, it's everything. It's even my speech. So, for example, like I said, I don't normally have what I consider to be nerve pain. I'll get like the burning skin occasionally, which is awful. And when I first started noticing something was wrong way back in the day, I had like a lot of kind of numbness and tingling in just weird places, and it would come and go, and then I'd be like, whatever. But the other day, so a new thing now frequently is every single time I go to the bathroom, it's usually my right leg. My entire right leg goes to sleep, which is why I believe when I tried to stand up, when my leg and foot and everything was completely numb, I did something because the ankle bone just popped right out, and that's when I fell down. So that happens every single time I go to the bathroom. My entire right leg and foot turn completely numb. Like, so for instance, like, and here's another weird thing. Okay, so this particular night, my entire right leg and foot turned numb, but so did my left leg, and my left foot turned numb. So I was like, okay, let's get some blood flowing. And it's not like I can just hurry up and go to the bathroom, because when at least my SFN makes it to where I have to sit on the toilet for 30 minutes just to pee, just to eke out a little bit of pee. It feels like I have to really, 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 really go. And I know this is TMI, but I'm trying to educate someone else out there that might be experiencing this. So sorry, it just is what it is. It's a human body. We're humans, right? We all pee and do the other and whatever. So, and so I know, like, sitting there for a long time is a cause, but I will tell you this, like, the minute I sit down, the right leg starts going completely numb. But this time my left leg did it. And like, it was like I got an epidural. So, and I don't know if any of you know what that is, but it's like a nerve block. So like when you're having a baby, they'll give you a epidural in your spine, and it will numb out your lower half to where, like, you can't walk, right? You're paralyzed. So when this thing happened the other day, like, both legs went numb, both feet went numb, all of that. I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll kind of just move them around. So I picked up my left leg, and I kind of just started, like, shaking it around and rotating my foot and all that. And then I tried to do the same with my right leg. And I was able to, like, lift my right leg up, like, just like, all I did was, like, it was still bent. I just lifted it up. And then I was going to try to, like, rotate my foot and kind of get things moving. I could not move my foot to save my life. If someone had a gun to my head and was like, move your foot or I'm going to murder you, I would not have been able to move my foot. I would have been dead. I could not move it. Like, I was staring at it. I was willing it to move as hard as I could, and it would not budge. And so that was like, okay, this is new. And it was a little scary and freaky. So, another interesting thing while I think about it is, I don't know if any of you other SFNers out there have this, but I get very prune-like. Can you say that? Prune, like, when your skin's been in water too long. It's very prune-like. Okay? And, I'm only 51, guys, so, and it's been like this for years, ever since I got neuropathy. It has gotten worse. And I used to get trimmers. I don't really so much anymore. So anyway, but both legs were completely numb. So I was a little like freaked out, like, okay, how am I going to get back in bed? So finally the left leg woke up, and I had my cane, which I now use every time I go to the bathroom. And it's one of those with like the 4 like peggy things. I strongly recommend to you, if you are going to get a cane, do not get one that just is a cane like with just one, I don't even know what the bottom is called, but the one I have is like 4, it's like a base like that wide, and it's got like 4 little, not suction cups, but like rubbery bases. God, my back is killing me, my upper back. I'm sorry. Oh, heated seats. Hey, do it. Okay. So, anyway, so I hobbled my way back to bed, and like, then the numbness and what I really hate is the numbness and the tingling, right? Like when my legs go numb, they just go numb. Like I can feel it happening, but it's not that weird, gross, tingly stuff until they start waking up. But I went back to bed, and it wasn't, bedtime, so I was watching one of my shows or whatever. I was laying there, and I could feel the numbness and the tingling just kind of crawling up my entire body. And when I say entire body, I mean my entire body. Every part of my body, every inch of my body was tingling. Pins and needles. Felt cold and numb. And it was kind of like, Christmas lights will be like, this one's going to go on, and then this one's going to go off, and then this one over here is going to go on, and this one over here is going to go off. It felt like that, because it was like, it traveled so much. Like it all felt tingly and weird, but it was like in different places. So like I would be numb here, super tingly here, kind of a cold sensation here, but it would travel. So then this would be cold, this would be tingly, this would be numb, and it was just like all over, including my ears, my face, my cheeks. Like it felt like perfectly round circles where they were numb and cold and tingly at the same time. Now, when it got to here, I'm not sure what made me do this, but I was trying to explain it to Callie. Like, he's kind of my, before I started YouTube anyway, that this is definitely helpful to me to kind of keep track of the symptoms and what's going on, because writing in a journal, unfortunately for me, isn't an option, because writing for any extended period of time, like 2 minutes, is very painful for my hands. So I was trying to explain to him what happened and what was happening, but it's whatever it was, it started affecting my speech. Like, so I'm talking to you now like the way I normally talk, right? Like, just kind of, it's a normal pace. It's whatever it is. It's me. That's the way I talk, right? But this was like very choppy and shaky. Like, I can't give you an example. Let me think of like, okay, so I'm going to say a sentence regularly, okay, like I normally would, and then I'm going to say the same sentence, but the way that I was speaking the other night, that I couldn't control. So the sentence is, I went to the store today to buy some peaches and some pears. That's my normal way that I would speak. The weird way, for the lack of a better word, that I was speaking with Kelly was very choppy, and it was like, I went to the store I bought peaches and pears. It was like that. And it was very like, so the whole time I was talking to him, I was speaking that way, and I was like, it's affecting my voice. It's affecting the way my speech. But it happened when it got here. Like before that, I was talking about how like, ooh, all this weird oogie, tingly shit, numbness is happening, and I don't like it. And then when I got here, I got very choppy, and I could not get the words out as fast as I wanted to get them out. And so that was a little scary. It was like, okay, what's going on? Are you just going to start affecting my speech permanently now? Like, I will have that on occasion. But mostly that comes from like just bad word recall rather than like affecting my actual speech. But it will still happen from time to time. But this was just something, it was just different, So that was one thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, the whole like thyroid thing. So like hypothyroidism, it does something, it creates not enough of your thyroid. God, it's so sad that I don't know this. I should know this. Let's look it up. And while we're looking it up, because how fun is it to sit here and just watch somebody look something up on their iPad, right? Like, it's exciting. Let's talk about, I think, who's watched Utopia on, I think it's Prime. If you haven't, please go watch it. It is amazing. Also, Soulmates on AMC. I watch it through YouTube TV, and it is so amazing. It is so good. So also watch that. Okay, so here we go. Hypothyroidism. What's the source? I don't know. What is the source? What am I looking at? Okay, this is Mayo Clinic. It's very common. It says more than 3 million U.S. cases per year. They're still looking at it. It could be Hashimoto's, but because I have no job or insurance, I do not have a way to continue looking into if I have Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disease, but really so is hypothyroidism anyway. And so is my small fiber neuropathy. They just don't know which autoimmune disorder it is yet, because my body is super fun and doesn't produce antibodies that would just help you say like, oh, look, you have this. No, my body's a little bitch and just hides all of that helpful information. Isn't that great? Yeah. So anyway, okay. So let's just quickly read the symptoms. Well, let's read about this. Okay, so hypothyroidism is a hypoactive thyroid gland, which is right here. Okay. I don't know if you can see it. I think I can kind of see her. Look at that. It looks like a butterfly. Holy shit. I think I can see her. Right? Don't you kind of see a butterfly shape right there? Huh. Anyway. But let me just show you. Oop, glare. Okay, so there it is. And they even show you where it is. And she looks very sad. And that, I understand how she feels. Okay, so hypoactive thyroid gland. Hypothyroidism, a condition in which the thyroid gland does not produce enough thyroid hormone. Hypothyroidism's deficiency of thyroid hormones can disrupt such things as heart rate, which mine has always been low. And hypothyroidism runs in my family. So I've had this checked before, and they were always like, no, your thyroid's fine. But my resting heart rate is sometimes 48. I have what's called sinus bradycardia, which is great if you're an athlete. Maybe not so great if you're a fluffy grandma, but whatever. So I just say that I think I'm a sloth in a human's body, honestly. I think that's my journey, which is fine because I love sloths. So, hypothyroidism's deficiency of thyroid hormones can disrupt such things as heart rate, body temperature. That is one thing I have not experienced. My mom was always very, 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 very cold, but my mom is also very, 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 very tiny. She takes after my grandparents, who were also tiny people. And then my mom decided to mate with a Sasquatch. So, so great. So she's super tiny, and she was always very, very cold. I think she still is always very cold. But hypothyroidism can cause you to be always cold. But I developed this during my menopause. So I think that canceled it out because I was never cold. I mean, now that the menopause is under check, kind of, I do get way colder than I used to. I could go out in 30-degree weather and not wear a coat. That's how I was, just constantly sweaty. Which I know sounds super sexy, right? Okay, so it can disrupt such things as heart rate, body temperature, and all aspects of metabolism. Yeah. So, that's not great. Because hyper, you get high metabolism. So, of course I wouldn't have hyper. Of course not. Oh, God, I'm a bitter bitch. Woo! Anyway, hypothyroidism is prevalent in older women. The hits just keep coming, don't they? Requires medical diagnosis, lab tests. They test your TSH levels, blah, blah, blah. It's a very easy test. It's a blood test. And then some of the symptoms. Okay, so let's load the symptoms. Okay, so major symptoms include fatigue, check. Cold sensitivity. I have been getting the chills a lot lately. And one thing I'll get back to that in a minute if I remember. We'll see. Constipation, check. Dry skin, check. I can see actual scales on my shins. That's how dry my skin is. And it's just flaky. It's just dry. It's sad. I probably don't drink enough water though either. And unexplained weight gain. I mean, I've always been able to explain mine because I eat sweets. I love sweets. And in this video, if my battery holds out, you will see some sweets. If not, then you can see some sweets tomorrow. But I did have during this time, there was absolutely no reason for me to be gaining the amount of weight. So I gained 30 to 40 pounds in a matter of a couple months, and I hadn't changed anything. In fact, I'd been eating less, because the more and more time that goes by, the more everything I eat causes heartburn. Like, sometimes just drinking water causes me to have a heartburn. Shit, I didn't go get any Tums today. Fuck my life. Fuck. And I was out. Like, I went out. I actually drove today. Anyway, so, okay, well, that's, I guess, something Kelly gets to go do. Because I don't have any Tums, and I need them on hand constantly. So, back to the symptoms. Fatigue, cold sensitivity, constipation, dry skin, and unexplained weight gain. People may experience whole body fatigue, lethargy, or feeling cold. Yes. If this happens when you are a younger person, like, maybe about to go through puberty, it can cause delayed puberty or slow growth, like failure to thrive, like physically. Hair loss or dryness. This bitch has been dry as fuck. Okay, just dry. She's just dry all the time. I put so much conditioner in her. I leave hair masks in her. I don't wash her very often because she's so dry. So dry. And I put oils in her, like on the ends, and all that. And I really do my best to take care of her. Bitch isn't having it. She's still dry. Brittle nails. I have never experienced brittle nails. My nails grow very quickly, and I usually keep them really short like this because I am obsessively compulsive about having anything under my nails, like that. Like, I want them to be perfectly white under my nails. So let me give you an example. So do you see that right there? Now, I'm not bitchy. Can I do one of these? Does that help? I'm not judgy about other people's nails, like, you do you. But like that, it's right now, it's driving me absolutely bonkers that I have that there. Now, most people are like, oh, I can't have it. I'm fighting the urge to run into the house or walk very slowly in my case. And I usually just dig at, like, inside my nails with a tack, like what you would use to poke things on a wall at, like, your office. I will use, like, I'm just constantly digging at my nails, even if there's nothing in there. Okay. So I'm a little OCD about that. But my nails grow super duper fast. So I'm always clipping my nails because the longer they are, the more I feel like dirtier they get. Like, it doesn't matter how much I wash my hands. I can still see something in there. I'm getting rid of it. So anyway, okay, let's continue. Hair loss or dryness. Definitely dryness. I do have a lot of hair that comes out when I brush it, but I feel like that's just, whatever that's called. Like, it's just, it's not dead hair because hair's already dead, right? It's like just hair that's already, like, out of your scalp. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, moving on. It's whatever. If you're a woman and you're watching this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. High cholesterol. Now, for the first time ever, also again though, I'm 51, I'm aging. My cholesterol has been a little bit high, on the very slight side. But before I found out I had hypothyroidism, I was like, well, that is so weird because I haven't changed my diet at all, so I don't know why my cholesterol would be going up. And again, it was like, if this is good cholesterol, I was like, here. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't anything my doctor was worried about, but still I was like, why is it going up? Well, now we know. Enlarged thyroid. A lot of the times I do get like this weird, it's like a weird throat pain. Like it doesn't feel like a normal sore throat. It feels, I don't know, like I do not know how to explain it. Like it just feels lumpy and tight. Like, I don't know. It just feels, I don't like it. It hurts. Okay. Brittle nails, constipation, dry skin, enlarged thyroid, high cholesterol, irritability. Let me tell you, I have been off the wall irritable. Okay. And my hormones are pretty much in check in terms of like the female hormones, because I'm on hormone replacement therapy now that I'm menopausal. I will say the generic brand that I started using after I lost my job and insurance and had to get off of my favorite product, which was called Phi-Evolve, I had to switch to Gentelli. And I can tell the difference. I don't care what people say, generic, blah, 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 blah. There are some generic medications, you know, I don't have a problem with, but I can tell a very distinct difference. Like when I was on Phi-Evolve, 0 hot flashes, 0. Gentelli, they're not as intense, but there are more hot flashes, and I don't fucking like it. And I feel like my emotions aren't as in check as they were. Like Phi-Evolve, I felt like a brand new me. Like I hadn't felt like I still had anxiety and all that. Cause like if you're a person that has anxiety, like that's pretty much you the rest of your life. But like the level of anxiety, again, if we're talking on a spectrum, instead of like being like this is lowest to highest. So instead of being like, we're way over here with my anxiety, I was like here, and it felt really good. Right. But major irritability, sexual dysfunction. I mean, listen, okay, we're going to get, I don't know if we've talked about this. So gentlemen, if there's any gentlemen watching and you don't like to hear about vaginas, because I just believe in keeping it real. It's a human body. There's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm certainly not going to be ashamed of it. I am so tired of people shaming people for periods. Not everybody does it, but believe me, it's like when people are like, ew, tampons, or ew, you have your period. Like, really, grow up. We're not in kindergarten. You are born because your mom had a period. Like, you usually don't get pregnant, but her female reproduction situation, okay, that's part of it. Okay, so it's all part of the deal. Periods aren't gross. There's nothing wrong with them. If there's any girls watching, I want you, or teenagers or whatever, or women that feel shame about their periods, stop. It's completely natural. It's completely normal. My husband has never hesitated to go and buy me tampons. Like, if he needs to go to the grocery store and buy just tampons, right? He'll buy them. And he's never not been that way, right? So, and you know why? Because he's mature. He's a mature male that knows that this is just part of the female body, okay? For the most part. So anyway, but it can cause, where were we? Irritability, yes, sensitivity to cold, sexual dysfunction. I want to talk about that. Okay. So I think what they're talking about here as far as sexual dysfunction, and I haven't really looked quite into it, but I will because I'm interested. I think what they're talking about is libido, like sex drive, just not feeling you know what it's like when you get like frisky and you're like, ooh, I need some loving. You know what I mean? Like, we all know what that feels like, those of us that have had it. So I think that's what they're talking about when they say sexual dysfunction. But just as a side note, when you're a woman with menopause and or a neuropathic issue, hi. Okay, I hear doors shutting, so I just, you know how I do. Anyway, listen, while we're talking, because I'm going on an hour here, I am just going to go ahead and dip into my peppermint bark that I got at my favorite bakery called The Flower Shop. They're amazing. So, hi, how are you? I've never had their peppermint bark before. I usually just get Ghirardelli. And then, and or those white chocolate M&Ms that are peppermint, and they're red and white. I used to always put those in a bowl at my office when I had a job. So I've never had this before. I've never tried it before. I thought I'd give it a shot. While we're talking about sexual dysfunction, yay. But one of the things that happens when you have a neuropathic issue and or menopause, things happen inside your vagina that make having sex horrifically painful. Not for everybody, okay, but in my case, and for many women, especially menopausal women, and I think some are ashamed to talk about it, but I would equate it to, everybody has their own kind of analogy. My analogy is like having sex with a curling iron that has been turned on high heat. Okay? It's excruciating and it's not happening. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no way in hell that that's going to happen. No amount of lube, no amount of preparation makes it any less painful. That is not everyone's journey. That is my journey. And it is very common, according to my OBGYN. Also, just Google it. It's common. There's ways around it, which are basically just, again, use more lube than you think. Like, if you think you're using too much lube, you are not using enough lube. My OBGYN did tell me, and again, I am not a doctor. I'm just telling you what my OBGYN told me. And she said, Crisco, the kind that's in a can, like old-timey that grandma used to use that's white, works great. And I can tell you that I have tried that, and it did work great. But really, the best thing you can do is you just have to keep doing it. And it's not something where you do once a week. Like, every single day you have to practice, or like get a workout in, if you know what I mean. Okay, even if it's just a couple minutes, because what happens is it starts to atrophy, and like any muscle, you know what I mean. And so the more lube you use and the more practice, the less painful it will be. At least that was my case. And hopefully it will be for you too, if you suffer with that. For me, I'm 51, so like, I still want to have a healthy sex life, but it would be a lot different if I was 20 and had to deal with that. And a lot of women do, and that I feel very badly for them. So anyway, let me just take a real quick bite of this peppermint bark, and we'll continue. Well, okay. Okay. I mean, It is good, but when they say bark, like I kind of expected it to be crunchier. And like they have little pieces of, you know, like peppermint candy in here, but that's not enough to make it crunchy. I just expected like a snap, and it's just very soft when you bite into it. So I think the best bet for this would be to put it in the fridge, and then it'll get hard. It'll give it more of a snap, because the Ghirardelli stuff kind of snaps. You know what I mean? Like, did I lose, in just those few moments, did I lose the tie to the bark? Of course I did. Why wouldn't I? Yep, it's gone. Okay, well that's super fun. Ew. Why? Okay. How did that even happen? Okay, well we're just going to use a hair tie. There's no hair on it. It's not been used for a hair tie ever. Like for hair. I don't know why it's in here actually, but it's now going to be used to tie up my peppermint bark. That's life, guys. You just got to use the tools at your disposal. I don't have time to sit here and look for a frickin' tie. Twisty thing. Okay, because we're going on an hour here, which is great. I mean, usually, sometimes I do 2 hours, so whatever. But that's the peppermint bark. So, back to our fun thyroid. Let's go back to that. Okay. So, sensitivity to cold, sexual dysfunction, which is, I believe, low libido, slow heart rate, check. Sluggishness, check. Just call me sluggo. Like, I am just dragging ass so hard right now. Weight gain, check. Irregular uterine bleeding, no. But if you are a female that is of menstruation age, like not menopausal and not prepubescent, it can cause your periods to be very irregular, very painful, very heavy, horrible cramps, heavy bleeding, bleeding for way longer. Like a normal period is going to be like 3 to 5 days, right? So like your first day might be light, and then you're like heavy, and then light, you know what I mean? Mine were usually like, I think 5 days total. First day was usually nothing, and then the middle of it was like really heavy, and then back to light. Baby girl's going to pick up her boyfriend. There she is. Is she not the cutest little baby? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh. I love you. You look very cute. She seems not in a good mood. Okay, anyway. Okay. Thyroiditis, inflammation of the thyroid, the butterfly-shaped gland in the neck. So maybe, I wonder if that may be causing the pain. So I'm gonna look into that. Goiter, abnormal enlargement of the butterfly-shaped gland. So some people get it becomes enlarged. Oh, they have nodules. Okay, these are all related conditions. Hashimoto's, which I'm still being tested for. Alopecia, which is, sudden hair loss. That sounds fun. That starts with one or more circular bald patches that may overlap. I do have one little bald patch somewhere like over here. Now this is just like, what do they call that? Like stress alopecia, like where people that always wear their hair back in ponytails get this, like, you know, where it starts thinning or whatever. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't have time to wear my hair down. Like, it's all over the place. It's down to my waist. I'm over it. Oh, if you're a male, you can have erectile dysfunction. That doesn't sound like fun. Telogen effluvium, a reversible condition in which hair falls out after a stressful experience. Oh, I don't want that. Related conditions. Celiac disease. Interesting. Okay. Iron deficiency. Anemia. Yes. Fibro. Yes. Anemia. Yes. Clinical depression. Yes. Persistent depressive disorder. Yes. Obesity. I hate that word. That's why I use fluffy. Carpal tunnel, you know, when I first, before, actually, you know what I call my small fiber neuropathy? You know what I really call it? Like when I'm with my peeps and I'm talking to them, I call it fibers. Because it's your nerve fibers that are dying. So I just call it my fibers. So from here on out, we're just going to start calling it fibers. Okay. So hopefully other people that will watch this will start from the beginning and know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, they're going to think I'm talking about, like, I guess fabric fibers or carpet fibers. I don't know. Anyway, but I call it fibers because it's easy. But in the beginning of my fiber journey, when I didn't know what was going on, I thought I had carpal tunnel syndrome, but I did not. I also thought I had bursitis because for a year I had intense hip pain. So I went and got a MRI where they shoot dye right into your hip joint, and oh boy, that was fucking excruciating. And if you're about to do that, I am so sorry. Don't be scared. Do it anyway. Go anyway. Take a Xanax. That's what I did. I took about 10 of Xanax. And it still hurt like a bitch. But also, I have just a very low threshold for pain. I mean, really, I have a high threshold for pain because I'm in pain constantly. My daughter left a bunch of crumbs on the floor. I mean, on the thing. So, anyway, I have a high threshold for pain. Like, if I can, during all this work for 4 straight years and not take any, like, short-term disability or anything like that, I have a high tolerance for pain, okay? But when you're talking about taking a big fat fucking needle and sticking it into my joint and just saying, it doesn't hurt, it's pressure. Pressure hurts, bitch. If you run over my hand slowly with your car, that's going to be pressure, okay? And that fucking hurts. So don't tell me pressure doesn't hurt. Okay, ran over. Anyway, so that's hypothyroidism. I didn't know that was going to be a part of our interaction today, but it is what started my day off in terms of having like a little baby Damn it. Hi, it's telling me low battery. Oh, that's easily fixed. Hold on. Because I can plug it in. But again, if something happens and it just shuts me off, kisses, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Like, really and honestly, because there's a lot of crap going on right now in our world, and I know that, and I recognize that, and nobody's having any fun with it, right? It's not fun. So anyway, when I found out I wasn't taking my thyroid pills the way I thought I was, I had a little meltdown because it's very frustrating. It's like, listen, I'm an adult person, I'm an adult woman, I should be able to take thyroid pills regularly. Like, I should be able to care for myself in that way. The problem is that I have DID, which is, I used to know what it was called, dissociative identity disorder. And so basically, I don't lose time, I don't think, but it's like, I think there are parts of me that think they're doing things that they're not doing. And so the other part of me is like, oh, okay, did it, check. But in reality, whoever is waking up at the 2 or 5 a.m. that should be taking the pill isn't taking the pill, right? But somehow I'm getting the memory that I took the pill. I don't know how the human brain works, guys. I just know that I have DID. And I just got really frustrated and overwhelmed emotionally because this is the second time that this has happened. And I'm like, how am I ever going to feel better if I can't even properly take this very simple medical treatment for this problem, which is taking one tiny pill when you wake up and then not eating anything for 30 minutes after? How hard is that? It's not. It's like the simplest part of my day. But apparently I never do it. So anyway, had a little mini breakdown. Also, I will say, without getting political, because we don't need any more of that bullshit right now, right? And I am not a political YouTube channel. You've got plenty of resources for that. But I will tell you this, regardless of, and just because I'm in Texas doesn't mean I voted for who you think I might have voted for, okay? I support the LGBT community 1000%. And also that doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that Republicans don't love the gay community, or that they're racist, right? Or that they're horrible people, okay? It does not mean that. And it doesn't mean that Democrats want nothing but socialism and for our country to turn into Venezuela, okay? Like, I think ultimately, at the end of the day, what we all want is just to be freaking happy. Like, I think we want to be employed. I think we want to see our families. And I think we just want to be happy, right? And we've managed to do that no matter who the president is, right? This past 4 years has been a little rough. And this election, I know, has been very stressful for everyone involved because everybody wants their guy to win. And so there's a lot of fighting, there's a lot of arguing. And because I have hyper empathic syndrome, which, yes, it is a thing. I am feeling the energy basically of the entire world. It's a mental thing. It's not like this. I am into like crystals and tarot cards and all of that stuff. But when I say I have hyper empathy syndrome, I am not saying that I'm an empath, which I am, but that's not the way I'm using it. Okay. I'm using it as it's a mental, like an actual mental, I guess, disorder. I hate using that word disorder because, like, I don't know. I just don't like the negative connotations. You know, mental health still to this day is a very touchy subject. A lot of people don't like to talk about it. A lot of people don't believe in therapy. And I think that it's just so sad. Like, everybody could use therapy. There's absolutely no one that couldn't benefit from just talking to somebody about their feelings, right? But anyway, so I think that's what caused my little breakdown this morning, was like, I I thought when the person that was seemingly elected was elected, I thought, okay, it's over. It's finally over, and we can just all move on now. And it's not over. And I'm thinking it's probably not going to be over for a few more months. So I started getting upset about that, because it's like, I just want to be, can we just have Christmas? Like, we made a decision as a family that we're not going to get together with my mom. We always go to my mama's house for Thanksgiving. We have done that for ever since I was born. And we're not going to do that this year. And I'm just like, what? And I totally 100% recognize that, how blessed and fortunate my family is. Knock on wood. I'm also very superstitious, which, no one in my family so far has been affected by COVID in terms of like getting it. Oh, actually, that's wrong. My uncle was just diagnosed, and fortunately, thank you, goddess, creator, whatever you want to say, he is fine. But I also recognize that not everybody is fine when they get it, and a lot of people have died. And so I want to recognize that first. And so, okay, in the great scheme of things, of how bad it could be, is not going to my mom's for Thanksgiving dinner the end of the world. No, it's not. But I'm still allowed to feel sad about that, no matter what is going on in other people's lives, right? Just like, even though I have a chronic pain condition and somebody else threw their back out, I never say to them, well, try having a chronic pain condition, because their pain is their pain. Like, if they're in pain, they're in pain. It doesn't matter that they don't feel the pain as badly because I have a chronic pain condition. You know what I mean? So, I still have sympathy and empathy for people that break their leg or have a really bad sinus infection or whatever. Like, they're still not feeling great. And to not feel great or even good sucks, right? So I also am giving myself permission to grieve the fact that we as a family are not going to my mom's for Thanksgiving. And the reason for that is because we're in Texas. I believe we're number one. Woohoo, number one in terms of cases. We're not, I mean, it's weird. It's like we're number one, but there's other places that are being harder hit. And I think it's because they didn't get hit quite as hard the first go round. You know what I mean? And Texas is a big state. Like, we're going to just naturally have, more people. But, what was I saying? I was talking about COVID. Oh, yes, COVID exists. It is real. If you don't agree with me, that's fine. We can disagree and we can still be friends, right? But it is real. It's happening. And it's going to affect some people worse than others. And it's older people. Unfortunately, it's the Black community. I think men get it worse. Lower income communities, people with comorbidities like me. My mom is elderly, of course, right? God, she would die if she heard me call her elderly. Oh my God. But she's like 74. and she has COPD. It's not like it hasn't, she got diagnosed, right? Because she was a smoker. She hasn't smoked in, like, she quit, like, I don't know, almost 40 years ago. And like physically she's fine. She gets a little bit winded here and there, but you know, she's in great shape. Bitch. Oh, she's so tiny and small. I just want to be petite and cute and adorable. Not that there's anything wrong with being fluffy, okay? It doesn't mean you are not cute and adorable. But as far as me, I would love to be tiny and petite like my mom. Because there's just so much options in terms of what you can wear, fitting into airplane seats, fitting into graduations. Honey, the amount of graduations that I've had to go to, those seats, if you've been to a graduation, they are so tiny, okay? And Mama's got a big booty. Like, she's a bubble. Like, I got a big, not necessarily wide, but it's a bubble. It's a big juicy bubble. And I love my butt, but I don't love my butt when I'm trying to sit in a seat in a assembly hall watching 5,000 kids get, you know, graduate, and I've got to go through every single one of them. And I had 4 kids, 4 high school graduations, then 2 college graduations. So, not fun when you have a big booty, let me tell you. Where was I going with this? Okay, so we had our little thyroid breakdown this morning. I think we have a plan, and the plan is Kelly is going to start taking over the management of my thyroid medication. So he's going to wake me up in the morning and hand me the bottle and watch me take it. Which I think is good, because for, 51 years basically of my marriage and me having kids, I have been taking care of this family. Like, anytime someone's sick, their back is out, whatever, I am there with the heating pad, I'm there with the Pepto, I'm there with this, I'm there with that, the cold compresses, I am there 100%. And then when I'm sick, I'm taking care of myself. You know what I mean? And I think it's that way with most moms. There are some dads out there that are on point, you know what I mean? But it's on the moms. We all know it's on the moms. Now, I would encourage you, if you are watching this and you are not a mom, do not put yourself in that position. Start from the get-go. Start from the beginning. When you have kids, before you have kids, right? When it's just you and your guy, whether you're married or not, if you're living together, there needs to be an even distribution of duties, right? Even distribution of duties, okay? Because we will work full time, just like the men, come home, make dinner. Now, that wasn't I didn't do that. I mean, I made sure my kids were fed, but like making dinner, no. There's a lot of bitches that do that though, and bravo to you, okay? Like, I don't know how you do that. Put beautiful dinners on the table, beautiful, healthy dinners on the table for their family. Then do all the fucking dishes and clean up the table and get the kids ready for bed. Give them baths, read them the books, play with them, la 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 la, walk the fucking dog. It's like, it never ends. And a lot of it is because, and I know for me, in my case, I allowed it. The society that I grew up in, so my mom grew up in the 50s, right? So, I mean, she was born in the 40s, but her formative years were in the 50s and then like mid 60s, right? And then I was born in the 60s and then, 70s, 80s. And it was just women basically doing all the shit. Like, still working, okay? Still working. And my grandma, she did work also. She was not a stay-at-home mom. So, but again, she did all the shit. My mom did all the shit. I did all the shit. And like the men, okay, they do the lawn mowing. They do the taking out of the trash, okay? But those are not things that happen every day, okay? They're just not. You don't have to do them every single day. So on the weekends, like during the week, even distribution of duties. On the weekends, figure it out. But there still needs to be even distribution. And if it's dudes staying home with their kids, and the moms doing whatever, like either way, there needs to be even distribution, okay? But most of the time it's the moms. And that's not even something I was supposed to get into or thought I'd get into, but I just want to make that point. I want to tell you, young women out there, don't put all of that on yourselves. It's not necessary. You have a partner, right? You have a partner. Use that partner. Like, partner together and get the shit done, right? Okay. So, let's go on to the next topic here because, yeah. Because every day I've been wanting to do YouTube videos. I really do love doing these. But I have not, because of the whole thyroid medicine thing, I've just been, it just frustrates me, like, whatever. And, but I don't know how much longer it's going to be, because just talking this much is making my throat hurt, because thyroid. Okay, so, I made notes. Okay, oh, this was at the top of my list, but this is the first time I'm looking at my list. So, today's Veterans Day, and I want to say thank you, veterans. And not just veterans, like your wives, your husbands, your children's, your parents. It's when a person joins the military, it's not just them joining the military, it's their entire family joining the military and serving our country. I can't even imagine having to be a mom whose husband is away in another country, especially during a wartime, or in a country where there's a lot of bombings, and at minute by minute, you just have no idea what's going to happen. The fear and the anxiety that must cause, like, I honestly and truly cannot imagine that. Then, of course, the sacrifice of just missing them. And, I mean, that's got to make your heart hurt, right? And then you're doing it all by yourself, right? So, like, the husband or wife is out in another country or whatever doing their thing, okay, their military stuff, and then the mom or dad is here at home taking care of the kids, getting them to school, taking care of the animals, doing all of that. The parents of the child that is away serving their country, as a mom, I can't even imagine. Like, none of my I don't have any children in the military. That's just not been part of their journey, and that's fine. I respect their choices. My dad was like, okay, so my birth father was in the military. I think it was the Army. My uncle was in the Air Force or the Navy. I don't know. I don't know. And it's not out of disrespect. I'm not being disrespectful. Like, my brain, it just doesn't work. My stepdad, which is not the adopted asshole guy that traumatized me, okay, This is my stepdad that's still married to my mom. He was also in the military, and again, I have no idea. I think he was in the Air Force or the Army. I don't know. But he like did something with like our nuclear weapons. So he was on a base where they like, I don't know, guarded or fixed or maintained like the nuclear weapon. I don't know. It sounds scary as fuck to me. So I just want to say, bottom line, I just want to say thank you to our veterans and your families and your friends and everyone that loves you and worries about you. You have always and continue to serve our country so beautifully and selflessly, and I thank you for that. I am not the kind of woman that I'm not strong enough for that. Like, I'm strong, okay? I am not strong enough for that, to have my significant other go do that. Like, I can't even imagine. Like, the strength of these women, the fortitude of these women and these men and these parents and these friends that go through each and every day knowing that their loved one is possibly in danger, and they just miss them and they haven't seen them in a year. Like, the sacrifice and the selflessness of that, they can go a year or maybe sometimes more, I think, not seeing their loved ones, especially during wartime. The lack of communication, like, it's not like, oh, let me just pick up my phone or FaceTime you. Obviously it's a lot better now. Back in the day, it used to be letter writing and it could take months to get a letter, but now you can FaceTime and all that. So bottom line, thank you. I just want to say thank you so much for that gift, okay, that you give us. So moving on. It's actually getting dark. Oh my God. I wrote down election, but for a minute I thought it said erection. And I was like, why did you want to talk about erections? But anyway, I don't. And I think I already covered that. And basically it's just, I know that everyone is feeling this frustration because we just want it to be over. And for me, this morning, I just was crying hysterically, mostly because I feel like shit, mentally and physically, because of this whole thyroid thing. I didn't know I wasn't taking my pills. And then, of course, I just burst into tears because I was like, this is never going to be over. I just want to have Christmas. Like, Christmas is not, like, present-wise, I don't care. Like, we've had very, great Christmases where there are a lot of presents and da-da-da-da. And we've had dollar store Christmases. We've had Big Lots Christmases and everything in between. And none of that matters. What matters to me is the family, the music, the movies, and the lights and the decorations. And that's what I want to do. I always go like bonkers. I'm like Elf, like how he elfified the house in his where he worked, except like 1,000 times worse because it's lights everywhere. Lights everywhere. But it's inside because I don't want, like, outside is great. We put shit outside, but like I don't care as much because I can't. Like, what? I walk in my house, I see it for 2 seconds. I want to be surrounded by Santa's workshop 24/7. And especially this year, since we're stuck at home, I want to just, like, live inside a Christmas snowball. And I really was just, like, hoping that this election stuff would be over so that we could just fully enjoy Christmas without having this thing hanging over us of like what's gonna happen, and then like just bad energy and like people unfriending people, and like someone unfriended my mom, and it's like, are you kidding me? Like, it's just so childish and ridiculous. I've had some throwdowns with people on Facebook. Now, first of all, I never call people names. It's just debate. It's strictly passionate debate. It is never name calling or anything like that, because there's no reason to. And these are people that I'm friends with. Like, why would I want to be shitty to them just because they have a different opinion than me? And these are not people. These are not bad people, and I know that. So, I think that's a little bit better. What about this? What about this? Like, we're getting some light. That's a little bit better. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. So, anyway, I just want to talk about that, and just like, if it's possible for you, if you have it in you, if you can, just try your hardest to enjoy these next couple of months. I know it's going to be different because we can't see our families. We can't be with the people that we love, maybe the way that we normally are. But we have FaceTime. We have technology that we didn't have back in my day. So, like, one year we had just an awful, awful ice storm. We get terrible ice storms here sometimes. And there was just absolutely no going anywhere. Like, you would be putting your life at serious risk if you did. And so we didn't have FaceTime. We didn't, it was just like, okay, love you. Happy Thanksgiving, So, and this is also like a message for me too. I am way too wrapped up in this. I need to get off of the Facebook in terms of the political posts. I need to stop YouTubing all the political bullshit. Like, I just want to make a commitment to myself to just start watching my holiday movies, start getting in the groove, getting in the mood, making the best of it. And you guys know I'm not one of those people that's like, keep it positive, because that's great. Like, I do believe in being positive, but I also believe that it's not possible to be that way 100%. And if you're watching YouTube channels where they're always keeping it positive, just know that when they turn the camera off, they're probably sobbing in their pillows, okay? Because that's normal human behavior, right? To get mad, to get sad, to get, all those things. Even if you don't have mental illnesses. And again, I hate calling these, I hate using the word illness. I know that they're illnesses, but I feel like that's where's the stigmatism? Stigma? I don't know, guys. You know what I'm trying to say, though. I feel like that's where a lot of it comes from, is using the word mental illness. And it's, I don't know. We just got to figure out a better word, right? So, I'm going to make a commitment to focus on my plant babies, because I have so many. Oh, my God. I have so many plant babies. I got some new crystals. I got some new tarot cards that I'm really excited about. I just want to go through them and touch them and read them and look at the images and the beautiful artistry on them. And I'd love to share that with you, and just go through them with you and show them to you if you have any interest in seeing that at all, seeing my cards. Please leave a comment. If you're watching and you like any of this content, please subscribe. I really am. Again, my goal with this channel is to get the word out to everyone of small fiber neuropathy, fibromyalgia, mental illness, dealing with childhood trauma. There's just so many things that I'm passionate about. I started out with just small fiber neuropathy because I felt like it's very underrepresented on YouTube and in the world, because even though it's very common, nobody fucking knows about it. So explain that to me. Anyway, so I just wanted to talk about that, which is I'm going to make a commitment to focus on Christmas. I have no control over what happens with the election. I only have control over how I deal with it. And I know the way that I've been dealing with it is also affecting my family, which is it's affecting my husband. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to make him have a shitty day because I'm having a shitty day because of the election. And he and I are like, politically, we absolutely 100% are on opposite sides of the fence. So that's how I know, like, it doesn't matter what side you're on. There's good people on both sides, okay? And you're never going to convince me otherwise, because I'm married to someone that's on the opposite side, right? And he knows I'm a good person. I know he's a good person. And I know we're not on an island. I know there's millions of good people out there, regardless of who they voted for, right? They're just good people, and we're all doing the best that we can. We have not had experience it like COVID pandemic. Like, what is happening? 2020. We're almost over, guys. We're almost over 2020. We probably won't be having any like super great big fat New Year celebration because COVID, but 2021's got to be better, right? Like, it's got to be better. We need to manifest that shit. Like, manifest that shit. 2020 is going to bring in the jobs, you know, the insurance, the doctor's appointments that I need to go to, all of that stuff. So, okay, next on my list, we were going to talk about, so I already talked about that. Oh, one of the things that I've noticed when I have a flare is I have these low-grade fevers, and the reason I know that I'm having them is because I get the chills. I always get the chills. And whenever I have the chills, I know that I have a low-grade fever. Now, my normal temperature for me, because my heart rate is so slow and my metabolism is so slow, what the fuck was I just about to say? This is part of the fun of my life. I had a really good point. Because my heart rate is so slow. Okay, let me look at my notes. That could help. Low-grade fever. Okay, so my normal temperature runs about like 96.7 or something like that. So when I have like a 99.8 or whatever, I start getting chills. And I think the highest my fever got up to was like almost 101. So I wasn't concerned about it. I'm not concerned about having like COVID or anything like that. So I'm not concerned about having anything, you know, like that. Because I just feel like I would feel way shittier if I had COVID. You know what I mean? I mean, and it's quite possible if I did have COVID, I could be an asymptomatic. I could be one that just didn't have that many symptoms. I don't know. My throat hurts a lot, but that's also just part of my body. I don't know why, but I just assume like if I get COVID, like I'm gonna fucking like when I had the flu, I knew, like, oh God, it was so awful. I've only had the flu once in my whole life, and it was terrible. But I won't get the flu vaccine because I don't know what's in it. It's a different thing in it every time. And for me and my body and the autoimmune issues, I do not feel safe taking vaccines because I don't know what it's going to do. So, okay, what else is on the list here? What do we got? So I did want to talk more about DID and really kind of get into that, but I'm already an hour and 40 minutes in. So, I think we're going to do, maybe we'll do that tomorrow. Cause my goal, like, I really want to do videos every day. I really honestly do, guys. Like, look, I had all these different tabs pulled up. I don't know if you can see my tabs, but just trust me, they're there. And I really wanted to talk to you more about the DID, how it affects me. I even had my DID workbook because I have a different form of DID, I believe. Now, I can't be sure because I can't get treatment for it because I don't have insurance. So I don't know. But from what I've read, I truly honestly believe that it is it's something like OSDD, which is called Other Specified Dissociative Disorder, which basically is you're still dissociating and you still have you've still fragmented, right? And there's still different parts, but people that have your traditional DID, from what I have found and seen in my research, is they have what they call systems, and they have full different people, personalities, meaning, or alters. I prefer to refer to mine as parts. And for me, there are times where, the other day, my daughter's boyfriend graciously, because he is also a pagan, graciously offered to take me to a place that was 45 minutes away or something, that was this mysticism shop or whatever, that has crystals and tarot cards and incense and all that fun stuff. So he took me there, and of course I went fucking bonkers. Oh my god, so much cool shit. And fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say again. Shit, what was my point? My brain. But there was a conversation that we had on the ride there, and my daughter was talking to me about it later, and I was like, what? And she was like, yeah. And there was a whole, probably 15 to 20 to 30 minutes of conversation that I have no recollection of having. I mean, it is not there. Even when she reminded me of it, that's a mosquito. Even when she reminded me of it, I have no memory of it. And so that is how mine presents. But then sometimes I'll be talking normally, and then something will just blurt out that is not me. It's not how I feel. And it'll just be boop. And then I'll be like, oh my god. And then because it's something that I'm polar opposite of the way I feel about something, or thoughts or ideas or opinions, okay? And it happens, so it's boop, it happens so fast. So it just doesn't present I know you're trying to get in here and suck my blood. You can just fuck off. It's twilight now, and the skeeters they're all just surrounding my car and waiting for me. So it's going to be fun getting out of the car. And I wanted to talk more about hyperempathy syndrome, which I'm also learning about. And it's just not fun, especially with everything that's happening in the world right now. It's holy shit balls. This is not a good time to be super empathic right now. You know what I mean? Empathy is great. Empathy is beautiful. Empathy is necessary. I feel bad for the people that don't have empathy. I really do, because they can't control it any more than I can help that I have more. So like there's an empathy spectrum. Here's the most empathy. Here's the least. I'm way over here. And other people are over here. And then my husband is somewhere in the middle, you know. And I don't want to use the word normal because it doesn't mean that we're not normal, right? You know? So, but I think I'm going to leave it there, guys. I've given you a health update in terms of like my small fiber neuropathy or my fibers, which I think is, it's either that or the DID or a combination of the two that is causing me to just completely just flake out on this thyroid medication. And hopefully the new plan will work. We're going to put that into play. But tomorrow I need to plant my precious little babies. I have so many succulents. Like, I have more. Okay. I need to plant them all. I know I won't get it all done tomorrow, but we're having beautiful weather right now. Like, mid 70s is the highs. So, I mean, this is the perfect time to do it. Sunshine, beautiful. And that's what I need more of. I need more sunshine. I need to get outside. I need to get out of my just watch TV all day and lay in bed. And just, you know what I mean? So, that's what I'm going to do. And I think I'll make a video for you guys tomorrow and show you kind of where my propagates are at, which are my little cute little leaves that like grow like the little, they're so damn cute. I can't. And then I got these little tiny ceramic pots, which I hate, terracotta, I think it is, which I absolutely cannot stand touching any of that. And I usually use gloves, but I need some like surgical gloves, because the other gardening gloves are way too bulky. So I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to plant some of my succulents and put some of my props in the little baby pots. And maybe I will get on the YouTube, and while I'm doing that, maybe talk to you. You know what I'll do is I'll talk to you about my favorite Thanksgiving movie. Honestly, I don't know if there's more Thanksgiving movies. It's the only one that I've ever seen. It's called Home for the Holidays. It stars, oh my God, what is her name? Holly Hunter and Robert Downey Jr. It is so good. Every year my husband and I watch it, every single year. With like a bottle of wine. I think this year we're going to get some mead, which my daughter's boyfriend told me about. I did not, like, I've heard of mead, like in, like, when you're watching Game of Thrones and they're like, bring me my mead or whatever, but I didn't know it was like wine made out of honey. Like, that's my fucking jam, dude. So we're definitely going to do that. We're going to have a carpet picnic, which is basically a charcuterie plate. I don't know how to say that shit. I used to know how to say big words. But basically it's a cheese board, and then it's got different meats and fruits and jams and jellies and crackers and cheeses. It's my favorite thing in the whole world. More than, if I could just eat charcuterie plates for the rest of my life, I would. Like yesterday for dinner, I had some Dublin, there's this cheese called Dublin, Ireland or something. I don't know. It's a very hard white cheddar. It is so freaking good. It's very hard. Why are there cars? Why are there cars? You know how I feel about cars. Okay. And then I had that with Triscuits, and I have black grapes. They're called black grapes, but they look purple to me, but whatever. They are delicious. And so I had my own little carpet picnic while I watched whatever it is. I don't remember watching. I think I watched Soulmates, which is also a really good show. So anyway, I really hope that I do that tomorrow, because either way I need to plant my plant baby, so I might as well bring you along, right? And we can talk about home for the holidays. Hopefully I'll remember that that's what I wanted to talk about. Maybe not. Maybe I won't remember. I don't know. But anyway, I have got to get inside. There is a Chipotle with nothing on it but just non-spicy meat, beans and rice, because I can't have any of the corn salsa. I can't have the pico de gallo because it has jalapenos in it. And I'm like, why can't you just not put jalapenos in that shit? Why? But whatever. Such is life. You're not always going to get a jalapeno-free corn salsa. Hi, I'm still here. Trying to close up this thing. I wanted to show you guys my treats, but I think I will show you tomorrow, hopefully, if I remember. Everything's, you know, if I remember. Okay. I hate these boxes more than anything. How does one close a box properly? For the love of God. Okay, I'm sorry. If you'll just a minute, just hold on just a minute. Oh, one thing I did want to show you. I hope my battery doesn't run out, but look at this. These are my favorite gingerbread cookies. Look, do you see the beautiful sugar crystals? Do you see that? That's sugar. But look at how sparkly and glittery and beautiful it is. These are gingerbread cookies. Oh my God. They make them year round. I eat them year round. I wish I didn't, because it would make this time of year even more special. But they're so delicious. I don't get them very often. But still, like in the middle of August or like July. Sorry. I will get a gingerbread cookie, and I'm like, bitch, just wait till Christmas. And then my other parts are like, go fuck yourself for not waiting. Mom wants a gingerbread cookie. So anyway, I feel like I'm missing something. What am I missing? Hold on. I feel like there's way more cookies I should have. What's happening? Oh, you're resting on the cookie box. That's what it is. You're resting on the cookie box. So, you're resting on peanut butter cookies and gingerbread cookies. And I think oatmeal raisin cookies too. Yeah, Kelly likes oatmeal raisin. So anyway, I'm going to leave you with that. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you tune in for tomorrow if I remember to make a video while I'm planning my succulents, because that is something that brings me joy, and I also want to have a joyful channel and not just a channel where we talk about illnesses and crazy shit that's going on in the country. But I didn't cry. I mean, based on this morning, I thought I was going to cry my ass off, so I didn't, so I call that a win. So anyway, for now, I am going to go. Thank you so much for just being here for me to talk to. I can't even tell you how incredibly fulfilling it is just to do this, you know, and document and maybe educate and share information and all of that good stuff. But if you have any questions, if you have anything you want me to address, if you have anything you want me to do, fun stuff, not fun stuff, I'm very open. I'll talk about anything, except for, like, if my children don't want me to talk about them, I absolutely will not do that. Like, I respect everybody's, right to privacy. You know what I mean? But in terms of like asking me about health issues and medications that I might be on or not be on or whatever, if you have comments that might be negative, that's fine too, as long as they're respectful. Anything that's not respectful is just going to go immediately in the trash. Like, you know, it's not necessary to be ugly and mean in a comment section, you know. But I definitely believe in constructive criticism, or if there's something I need to do better, like figure out how to use my vlogging camera, and do it. But again, that's anxiety, and that is definitely something on the list of what I want to talk about is anxiety, and how absolutely debilitating it is, and how also crazy, and like, it seems so silly sometimes, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. So, but we'll talk about that in the next video. I'm going in 2 hours here. So I hope you all have a beautiful evening. And I really do plan on seeing you tomorrow. Because I really want to be there with you when I plant my babies and talk about Home for the Holidays, one of my most favorite movies. So I'm going to try to remember that that's what I wanted to talk about. Okay. I will see you guys tomorrow or sometime soon. Okay? Mwah! Bye. Have a beautiful day, night, whatever. I think I already said that, but you know. Okay. All right. Bye.